Hey, what is it, guys, and welcome to my season 14 guide for Kayle. This is gonna probably be, or most likely be, the most complete guide on YouTube, and that is because of the spreadsheet I am going to be linking on the description of this video. This spreadsheet I have been completing ever since 2021. I'm not really sure when I started making the spreadsheet, but it is very complete. I have invested more than 200 hours on this spreadsheet. And also, I've reached rank 1 kill in the world. So, and I've been playing this champion for like 5 or 6 years. So it's been a long time. I've been playing Kayle for a long time. I've been theory crafting on Kayle for a long time. I've been investing a lot of time into this champion. I think I have more than 3,000 games on Kayle, if I'm not mistaken, on all of my accounts. So yeah, this guide, I am not going to be reading some parts of this guide because obviously it will make the video too long. But again, guys, I have invested way too much time into this spreadsheet, into this guide. Again, more than 200 hours. So if you can subscribe, if you can like the video, if you can comment below, it would mean the world for me. Also, other than the spreadsheet, that the link is going to be on the description of this video, I have all my socials on the description of this video, including my Discord, where we do talk about Kayle. So yeah, with that out of the way, the guide is going to be commencing right now. So this spreadsheet, it is the most detailed spreadsheet for Kayle, and honestly, I think it's the most detailed spreadsheet for any champion out of any content creator ever done, I think, because I really haven't seen any other spreadsheet like this complete. So it has 6 pages. The first page is going to be spreadsheet, second page runes, third page builds, fourth and fifth are going to be just text of macro gameplay, what you're supposed to do, and this is just tips and tricks. And the sixth is going to be ability maxing for Kayle. I'm going to be explaining all of this in this video. So yeah, spreadsheet. I honestly didn't update this spreadsheet for 6 months because I was already aware that they were going to be removing mythic items, and yeah, it was not worth it for me to update it. But now it's updated for season 14. I updated everything. So every champion is going to have a difficulty rating 1 to 10. The summoner spells you have to take, keystones. I'm going to explain what this equal signs and commas mean in just a second. Secondary runes, starting items, Q or Emax. Some of them are going to have tips against the matchup. I don't have against all of them because honestly it just takes way too much time, and I prefer investing my time into other things. And like, there's champions that, like, it's not even worth it to create these tips. These tips, like, you're not gonna really be facing Janna or Iron that often, right? So, and very little amount of these champions do have a YouTube link with one of my videos that actually talks about a 1v1 guide. So yeah, some of them have them, but yeah, most of them do not. Okay, so every single champion has keystones, and some of them have a lot of keystones. So for example, Aatrox has fleet footwork, lethal tempo, and press the attack. It has, after the fleet footwork, there's a coma, and between lethal tempo and press the attack, there is an equal sign. What does this mean? If there's a coma, this means that this, like, after the coma, in my opinion, it's gonna be worse than before the coma. So fleet footwork is better than lethal tempo and press the attack. But if they have an equal sign, that means that both lethal tempo and press the attack are just as good against Aatrox. Obviously, this is going to depend on what build you're also building. For season 14, for example, the 2 meta builds are going to be AP and on hit. We're going to be touching that later. But against on hit, you're going to probably prefer lethal tempo instead of press the attack. If you're going in hit, if you're going AP, you're going to probably prefer press the attack. Okay, so you have fleet and press the attack. So since this is precision primary, secondary, I recommend resolve and sorcery. Both of them are really good against Aatrox. But yeah, this depends on what champion you're going against. And Aatrox, Doran's Blade, if lethal tempo, press the attack. Doran's Ring, if fleet and AP. And Doran's Shield also works well into this matchup. Aatrox is very versatile, where a lot of things work into him, but I list all of them just in case it just suits your play style. It just suits the game you're playing, and well, Qmax. If there's an equal sign, for example here, against Ashe, both fleet footwork and press the attack, they're both good against Ashe. Honestly, like this spreadsheet, like before you use the spreadsheet, this spreadsheet is for mid lane and top lane, not for bot lane. I'm not addressing bot lane Kayle, because honestly, bot lane Kayle is terrible. So if you're playing bot lane Kayle, if you're going in against any ADC, just take fleet and Doran's Shield every single game. But against Ashe, mid lane or top lane, fleet and press the attack are just as good. It just depends on your playstyle. Okay, so equal signs depends on your playstyle. They're just as good. But I do list a lot of them just in case you prefer one keystone over the other. I do include Grasp. I think Grasp is an amazing keystone on Kayle. And I do include Fleet on a lot of matchups. You're going to notice that Lethal Tempo is not really included that much in the spreadsheet. I think Lethal Tempo is a bit of a bait. Keystone on Kayle, I don't think it's a good keystone. It's a good overall keystone for Kayle. Like, you can take it every single game and it's going to be amazing for Kayle. But in my opinion, there's better keystones for Kayle for most matchups. There's some matchups where Lethal Tempo is just better. For example, Camille. Mordekaiser is also another matchup where Lethal Tempo is better. But most matchups, Fleet and Press the Attack and Grasp even, because a lot of people don't think Grasp is a good keystone on Kayle. Grasp is so good on Kayle. Are better than Lethal Tempo, right? So you have listed keystones, secondary runes. Secondary runes sometimes have a decision. They are in parentheses. So Overgrowth or Unflinching, that's going to depend on what the enemy team has. If they have a lot of CC, Unflinching is a little bit better. If they don't, or they have a lot of burst, Overgrowth is going to be a little bit better. Just watch their team and know what decision you're going to make. Check all of this information while you're in champ select. So, well, champion, obviously, difficulty, just in case you want to dodge. Your summoner spells and your rune setup, you have to check all of this while you're in champ select. And you have to check all of this while you are in your loading screen. So, again, this is all listed. Starting items. I removed Corrupting Pot from the starting items. I don't think it's that good after the Doran's items changes in late season 13. And, well, again, in loading screen, you're going to have to check what you're going to max. Q max, E max. There's some matches where you put 3 points into Q and then you E max. That being said, if you really want to get into what to max more efficiently, you have to go to the 6 advanced ability maxing, which is this. It's a little bit detailed, but it's not that hard to understand. I'll get into that later. Okay, so that's spreadsheet. Now we're going to go into runes. So runes, there's 2 primary trees you're going to go. Precision tree, which you can pick between, by the way, green blocks is a decision, yellow blocks you're always going to take. Precision tree where you're going to pick between Fleet, Lethal Tempo, and Press the Attack. That's what the spreadsheet is for. Triumph and Presence of Mind. You're going to take Presence of Mind instead of Triumph, where you can proc it early game if the enemy has no poke. So if you can proc Presence of Mind for free, just take Presence of Mind. If not, you take Triumph. Always take Legend Alacrity for Season 14. And if they have HP stackers, take this one. I forget the name. If they don't, take Last Stand, which is this one. Last Stand. This is cut down, I think. Yeah, it's cut down. So cut down instead of last time have like 2 or 3 HP stackers. Like, it doesn't really matter if they're very tanky champions. We're only talking about HP here, right? So if like you're against a Swain and a Singe, they don't really stack that many resistances, but they do stack a lot of HP, so bear that in mind. Resolve tree, just for grasp. You're always going to take Demolish, and you have the decision between... Honestly, it's between Second Wind and Bone Plating. Most of the time, you're going to take one of those two. If you don't need any of those two for the matchup, Conditioning is also very, very good. And Overgrowth, and you're going to have a decision between Overgrowth and Unflinching. Again, it depends on how much CC they have. Secondary runes. If you take Precision Primary, you can take both Resolve and Sorcery Secondary. Again, that's all of that is in the spreadsheet. And I explained all of these. Yeah, I already explained all of these runes. So yeah, if you take Grass Secondary, you're always going to be taking Sorcery Secondary. Or even some games you're going to be taking Precision Secondary, but it's mostly Sorcery Secondary, okay? Always take Celerity Gathering Storm if you're going secondary, if you're going Sorcery Secondary. Rune stats, always attack speed. By the way, this is going to be changing next patch. This is going to be changing that next patch. Probably they're going to be giving like move speed here and slow resist here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here just like for this patch, but I'm going to change it next patch. So always take double MR or double armor runes if the laner and the jungler have the same type of damage. So if you're mid lane and you're against Silas and the jungler is Fiddlesticks, I always take double magic resist. I always do that, or whenever the spreadsheet says so. There's some matchups where you need the double armor or double magic resist. For example, if you're against a Draven or a Lucian, just take double armor. You're just gonna need it. If you're against Azir, double magic resist. It's just super, super important. Take the health rune when you're not sure if you're against AP or AD. Sometimes you're not sure. Sometimes they have this flex picks. And yeah, it's just better to take this. You can also take this if you know you have like a free matchup where you're going to scale for free. For example, if you're against Janna, if you're against Singed, you're just going to... Because Singe isn't really a free matchup in mid lane, but in top lane, most Singe are just going to proxy. So you can just take this, and this is going to scale for free. Okay, so meta builds. Meta builds right now, the AP is the most effective build for Kayle right now. Like, it's better than on hit, it's better than AD, it's better than crit, it's better anything. In my opinion, there's only 2 real viable builds for Kayle at the moment. So the first one is going to be AP, and the second one is going to be AD on hit build with Kraken Slayer and Ginzus, okay? So if you want to add these builds to your game, you're gonna have to go to the item sets and copy this text and paste it, and you're gonna have all of this in your games, okay? I added starting items. Again, starting items are gonna depend on the spreadsheet here. Starting items. I added a consumable slot just in case you need some consumables. If you want to buy more potions, if you're late game and you want to buy these potions, they're just there. For AP, those are both like that's the same for both AD and AP. Obviously in AD you don't really have Doran's ring, and well, these potions change, but other than that they're pretty much the same. Okay, so I'm gonna start with AP first. Boots. For AP you have 3 types of boots, okay? You have Swifties if you need move speed. This is mostly going to be in top lane, because you're not really going to be facing these champions in mid lane. You're not really going to be facing champions where you need the move speed in mid lane. So these are going to be in matchups like Nasus, like Riven, like Trundle, like Darius, where move speed is super important. So Swifties are just a must buy in those matchups. Also in top lane, the lane is longer, so Swifties, again, move speed is better if the lane is longer, because you can kite. So for AP Kayle, if you're mid lane, take Sork shoes, unless you really need the move speed from Swifties. If your top lane, go Cirques, unless again you really need the move speed from Swifties. Why do I think Cirques is better in top lane? Because again, the lane is longer. If the lane is longer, that means you're going to be weaving more auto attacks. If they're trying to escape or something, you're just weaving more auto attacks before they get to tower. For mid lane, the lane is a lot shorter, so there's not that many auto attacks you can really weave in. So that's why Sork shoes is a little bit better in mid lane. Core. Core is always going to be Nashor's Tooth into Death Cap. It's just always going to be that. Nashor's Tooth into Death Cap. But I did add a placeholder amp tone here just in case. This is going to be like, it's going to be really rare when you need this. But just in case you need either Zhonya's or Banshees. There's going to be these games where you need Zhonya's or Banshees. They're really good this season because they have a lot of AP. But if you really need Zhonya's or Banshees, I prefer them over Death Cap. I would delay the Death Cap one more item. Okay. So but again, it's only if you really, really, really need them, because Death Cap is an amazing power spike for Kayle. If you can get away with not building them, just go for Death Cap and then build the Zhonya's or the Banshees, right? I would only recommend it if you're against like if you're like Kayle mid against a Zed and the top laner has a dive champion like a Riven, and then they have like a Bel'Veth jungle, again another dive champion, then yes, Zhonya's is better than Death Cap in that situation. But for most games, Nashor's Tooth, Death Cap. Okay, situational. After you build your Nashor's Tooth, Death Cap, and well, your boots. By the way, I have Dark Seal here just in case you have 350 gold extra to spend. It's an amazing item. It's just really, really good for AP kill. Okay, so once you finish your core, then you go into situational items. What do you need for that game? For example, most games you're going to need Zhonya's. Like, let's be honest, Zhonya's just an amazing item. Has the best active in the game. And by the way, that's my WhatsApp, guys, just in case you... okay, so Zhonya's is really good. Banshees is really good. Like, if they have a lot of magic resist, Void Staff. Rallies is really good if they have a lot of champions without a dash, like an Udyr, like a Darius, like an Orianna. It's just really good against those champions. And, well, Morelos, if you need the Grievous Wounds, and, well, QSS. If you don't need situational items, you're going to build these items in this order. Lichbane, Shadow Flame. Again, Zhonya's is kind of situationally, but honestly, most games you're really going to need Zhonya's, and like the active is just amazing for late game. So most games this is amazing. I just added it because of that. So okay, so I do think Lichbane is better than Shadow Flame though. I know that a lot of Kayle players are prioritizing Shadow Flame instead of Rabadon's Death Cap, instead of Lichbane. I do think Lichbane is better. After Nashor's Tooth, Death Cap, I do think Lichbane is better, and then Shadow Flame. Bear that in mind. So I think this is the best order you can build them. And also, I think the stats also show that. I think Lichbane, if I'm not mistaken, has a 2% higher win rate if built third than Shadow Flame. Now, does this mean that you're only gonna build these two items and then maybe like if you need the Zhonya's, what are you gonna prefer, the Zhonya's or the Lichbane? It's gonna depend on the game. If you really need the Zhonya's, pick the Zhonya's. If you think you can get away with not buying the Zhonya's earlier, build the Lichbane and then the Zhonya's. It depends on the game, it depends on the enemy comp, it depends on so many things, but yes, I think this is the most of, like, these three are the most efficient build for AP kill. I added these items because there's some games where you're gonna need these items, but honestly, do not buy these items unless you know exactly what you're doing. I just added them here just in case, but I normally build these items probably once or twice per season. You can get away with not building these items ever. but I added them here because I want this to be a complete guide for Kayle. Sell boots, last item for Cosmic Drive. Yeah, for AP Kayle. Okay, now we're going to AD Kayle. Again, starting items, consumables, boots. Obviously, no Sork shoes here. And, okay, so this is the core build, but before the core build, you have two decisions, right? Wit's End, which was removed from the AP build because I don't think Wit's End is good in the AP build anymore. And Terminus. So you're gonna be building one of these. Like if you don't build one of these, just skip. But if you do build one of these, you're gonna skip Kraken. Okay, so only build Wit's End if you're against a champion that has a lot of magic damage and you need tenacity. So Cannon, so Brand, you're only gonna be building Wit's End against those champions. A lot of magic damage, not a little bit, a lot of magic damage and tenacity. And only build Terminus if you're against a champion that is going to stack a lot of armor. If you're against a very tanky champion like Ornn, like Malphite, like Rammus in top lane, build Terminus instead of Kraken. Terminus is going to be a lot better than Kraken. The core build. If you build either Wit's End or Terminus, skip Kraken. Skip Kraken and go directly towards Ginzu's. Okay? I think Ginzu is a better item second. And then after you finish your Ginzus and you have one of these two items, you finish your Kraken. That's why Kraken is in situational again. It's because if you build any of these two, Ginzu's, Kraken. If you don't build either of these two, then you build Ginzu's, like Kraken, Ginzu's, and then you just go situational, right? Between these three armor reducing items, Terminus, Mortal Reminder, and Lord Doms. If you need Grievous Wounds, take Lord Doms, obviously. If they don't have a lot of burst, if they have a lot of tanks, and you don't really think they can burst you down and stuff, go Terminus. And if neither of those are true, just take this item, Lord Doms. Okay, so again, situational items, like this is all listed here. Guardian Angel, Zhonya's, like Zhonya's is really good even in AD builds because like the active's just completely broken and like Kayle still likes the AP, so yeah. Blade of the Ring King is just decent, especially against a lot of HP stacking champions, and same for Storm Racer. If they're squishier and you need the move speed, this is just so good. Wit's End again, if you need the magic resist, the tenacity late game, something like that, or Mortius. If they have a lot of AP and it's composed of burst champions, then Ma is really good. Again, I added very situational items. You can ignore this. I just added them here just in case you need them in like very, very specific game. By the way, I forgot to add Randuin's. Oh, no, wait, it's here. Okay. I was like, where's Randuin's? Yeah, it's here. Okay, so that is spreadsheet, runes, and meta builds. Now I'm going to go into macro and gameplay. So I'm not going to be reading all of this, obviously, guys, because I don't want the video length to be as long. You can obviously go to the link of this description below and read all of this, but what I do here is, what I typed here is what you need to be doing at every stage of the game with Kayle. So levels 1 to 5, you have to be really safe, you have to play really safe, you have to give up CS if you really need to, you just have to survive the lane and not lose as much of HP. Level 6 to 10, this is when you can actually start skirmishing, you can start doing 1v1s, 2v2s, depending on the matchup. Level 11 is when actually you're better than most champions in the game. This is the average. You're better than most champions in the game. And you want to split push. You want to grab level 16 as much as possible. So you want to avoid your team as much as possible. Levels 11 to 15. Honestly, levels 1 to 15, you want to avoid your team as much as possible, because you really want level 16. And level 16, you're basically the best champion in the game. Your power level's through the roof. You can start 1v3ing people, 1v4ing people even. This is where you have to decide between split pushing and grouping. This is going to be requiring more macro, more advanced macro. But yeah, definitely give this a read, guys. It's very detailed. And again, the fifth tips and tricks for Kayle. Again, it's very detailed. Give this a read. It's just 16 tips and tricks that you can do for Kayle. It's somewhat in depth, so yeah, definitely give this a read. I'm not going to be rating this in the video. I don't think it's necessary. And 6 is the advanced ability maxing for Kayle. So level 1, always going to put a point into your E, right? Level 2 are your full HP that you get poked down. If you're full HP, put a point into Q. If you're not full HP, put a point into W and use it immediately. Level 3, put a point into E or Q, the one that you don't have yet. Okay, so by level 3, you're gonna have 1 level in each one of these skills. Levels 4 to 5, are you getting destroyed in lane or do you need extra HP? Put an extra point into W. It's a good trade. You're trading 10 mana for 30 HP. It's decent. But most of the games, you're not really going to do that. You're going to be playing safe. No, if you don't, do you need long trades or are you winning very hard in lane? Okay. So if you're winning long trades, or if you need long trades, or if you're winning really, really hard, just put points into E. Otherwise, put points into Q. At level 6, if you're continue doing this. If you aren't level 6, just go back, and it's like the same process till you're level 6. If you are level 6, well, put your point into your ultimate, and after that, are you ahead or can you start winning all-ins? After level 6, if you can start winning all-ins, if you're ahead, just prioritize R, E, Q, W. If you're not, prioritize R, Q, E, W. And, well, obviously, you end with a point into your W. So, yeah, guys, that is the guide for Kayle Season 14. Again, this is the most detailed guide, in my opinion. Link in the description of this video. This entire spreadsheet is for free. It's in the description of this video. A lot of people have been asking me why I've took some time. Where was my guide? Because I don't like to rush this guide because I do have to update. I'd have to update this for season 14, and I took about 20 hours this season to update this. So I don't like to rush this. I like to play some games. I like to test everything out, and also I like to wait for data for me to update everything. But yeah, I do recommend playing Kayle right now. I think Kayle is in an amazing spot at the moment. I think she is kind of like very, very strong, actually broken if you're low elo, and very like strong-ish if you're high elo, which is something I haven't said before. I do recommend playing this champion. I think this champion is really, really good right now. And yeah, again, guys, subscribe, leave a like, and as always, have a great day.